Okay. Hi, my name is Sergey Savastyuk. I'm going to talk today about how to build a portfolio with Tickeron. This is our legal information. There's a special section on our website. You can read all these documents which relate to the legal information and legal disclaimers. So today, what is the today topic? About portfolio, okay? So I will start from a portfolio wizard, and then I will talk about the portfolios for passive investors and the active investors. And I will show a couple of options how our wizard works, and you're going to be able to see how easy it is to build a portfolio, okay? I also will show you how you can build filters in the screener, and that way you're going to be able to access them in a portfolio, okay? So now let's start. So let me remove that, and let me show you first our whole watch list. And this is a brief description, so you can add tickers, you can search, you can set up alerts, and view the buy-sell recommendations, which are daily basis, okay? So it is a kind of a portfolio, but the problem with this is you have to build it yourself, okay? And what I'm going to do is to show you how to use our wizard. And the first, as I promised, is going to be for the passive investors. So we're going to go to the simplest route, AI portfolio wizard for beginners. Okay, we click here. And now you see there are options, passive investor and active investor. Here you select your age approximately, okay? It's gonna help us to, meaning like a machine, a computer or AI, to understand who you are. Okay, let's say it's a passive investor. And then let's take a very simple way of doing that. Let's assume you have a 401k, and let's assume you work for Intel, for instance, right? So, and then you build it from all options. So the question 1, 2, 3, boom, done, right? So what is important to understand that we build portfolios based on a diversification score. What is a diversification score? It is similar to the credit score. It is the same kind of a concept. The higher, the better. And the range is about from, let's say, 400 to 850. So as you know, that this is a kind of range. And if you have about 720 credit score, then it's good. The same thing is here. Diversification score is good on the range about 720 and plus. And there are some other things, okay? So in order to get a good diversification score, you have to have a good selection quality. What does it mean? It means that you have to select some stocks or ETFs or mutual funds for that purpose, okay? And if you don't select, then you cannot allocate. So allocation quality is how much you put into each position, okay? So for instance, you can select Microsoft and Google, okay? You can put 50-50, 60-40, you can put something in cash. That's what is called allocation. But the selection is really how to select, okay? So if you know a little bit about 401k plans, then you actually don't need to select anything. Any company which has a 401k plan actually offers that selection to you, and you cannot change it. But the good thing about our tool, you can estimate or like evaluate whether or not this selection is good, okay? So as you can see, we say passive with this H, and then 401k, go next, okay? So we go next, and then we here select that option. You see this one, select tickets from employer 401k plan. And now we here type Intel, because we agreed you kind of worked at Intel. And you see there's all kinds of things. And let's see, yeah, this is, you see, Intel 401k plan, saving plan, okay? So we click, boom. And now the system immediately knows what is offered at the company Intel. So if you know your company, you can look in our database and see if it is already pre-selected. Add selected, so that means add all, boom, okay? So now, as you can see, this is the portfolio, which has, now look what we have. We have a selection quality 70%. Better be 100, but that's what Intel offers, and maybe they should reevaluate what they offer. Allocation quality in this moment, as you can see, everything is in cash, right? And nothing in percentages, okay? Let's see what the portfolio settings. As you can see, out of the what we put into the first questionnaire, you can adjust. So for instance, here, market volatility, which you can sustain, let's say like kind of approximately in the middle, okay? And then what else? Everything is fine. We assume here 10,000, which we can change later. Here is clicking by AI advisor, okay? Boom. So after we submit it to our advisor, we have, you see, a diversification score moved from poor to excellent. Why? Because we allocated properly, okay? Now you have all these allocations which you can use. And then if you finish, so you can look and check. I will enter more positions if you need more, or like, let's say Intel change something, then proceed as is. Okay, now we are in this list, which tells us what is going on here. And we can add, remove cash. Let's assume you have only 10,000, but let's assume you can add more cash. Let's assume you add another, let's say 190,000, okay? Apply, okay? Now your portfolio is 200,000, and all the allocations been made accordingly, okay? Now, what to do with this, and what we're gonna do is to get advice. We're gonna go to this button and get advice and see what the system is thinking about what's going on with this allocations. Calculating recommendation from my advisor, okay? So as you remember, it was poor, right? So in order to get a new, here is some reallocations, okay? And that's what the system offers to Intel to add. But quite often it is actually suggested 10 extra positions to get a good selection quality. So machine is kind of thinking that you can add. If you can add, that's your deal. If you cannot, then you have to remove it, okay? In order to remove it, you see you can cross, and then let's start removing, okay? Boom. So as you can see, if you start removing, the selection quality start dropping. And I will remove a few just to show you how the system works, okay? And as you can see, every time you remove, you change the selection quality, okay? Now, in order to make these reallocations, what you do, you apply. We apply. And it's actually, we didn't read the commentaries. You see, we had cash, 149,000, and we allocated into these positions. And as you can see, it gave us the percentages for each position which it offers and reallocates. Okay. So this is a reallocation rule, and this is an order to buy to the brokerage. So quite often the system works like that. You have to go to the brokerage, or companies or 401k providers give you this opportunity to make reallocations. That's how you do it. Okay. So as soon as you've done it, you can print this out and then go to your brokerage or to your 401k provider and then execute that. Now we're back with this type of reallocation. As you can see, it required us 40,000 in cash, and all other positions being reallocated according to the new advice. Okay. Now, let's go and back and then try it again, okay? So we spend about 10 minutes on the passive, and then 401k. If you do not have 401k, you can actually either analyze portfolio, which you already have, which is easy. But what I'm gonna do is to offer you the simplest form. Let's assume you have 250,000 and you want to allocate this 250,000 into ETFs and stocks only. If you want to add mutual funds, you add here, and then now we're gonna ETFs and stocks, and let's see what the portfolio is going to be created. Okay, now you see this case, when I don't have anything except 250,000, it gave me immediately 13 positions to achieve selection quality 100% and allocation quality 100%, because it is already allocated. And this is the list of 13 positions. As you can see, it's different types of technology ETF, Hilton Hotel, Microsoft, the companies which are doing really well, and that's the best the machine offers as of today. Okay, let's assume you want to add mutual funds. You see, mutual funds don't offer them, and that means there's no mutual funds. If you want to add mutual funds to the mix, then you go here, edit, okay, and then click what you want to select, and then it's going to add mutual funds to the portfolio. Now, this is 13 position, which is required for selection quality, and it's actually the best number for 250,000. And all these settings here, which you can adjust, you see risk level, year still, withdrawal, and let's say risk, we can put again 5, okay? And then as soon as you change something, then it's going to change everything. You see, now it's recalculated and everything looks good. Okay, so let's assume you say, I don't want to manage 13 positions. I really want to manage only 10. Okay, so what's going to happen? Oh, you see, there's a recalculation. Selection quality now is 79%. Allocation still 100. Why? Because it allocated properly, but now it has only 10 positions. If you want to, let's say, even less, let's say, yeah, you see, that's the borderline. It's still good diversification score, but it's 8 positions. So if we keep it 9 minimum, we still excellent selection quality, allocation quality 100%, boom, finish the portfolio. Okay, that's how easy you can build a portfolio with Tickeron if you're a passive investor, and then there's actually nothing is required to do anything else. Okay. So you see, this is the portfolio. Okay, 250,000, and it's over 17,000 cash. and all other positions are allocated. Okay. So as you can see, I covered 401k and how to create passive portfolio for a specific amount. Now it is active investor. It's a little bit different, but also very interesting process, which also starts with the same wizard, okay? And I will show you the difference. So now I'm active investor. You see, for active investor, we don't offer analysis 401k plans because it's a different 401k is kind of more passive type of, and analyze existing portfolio. If you have, the system can analyze it, but we're going to go to the same thing to create 250,000 and without mutual funds, and then next. Okay, and again, the technology is diversification score. Okay, so this based on the filters, popular filters and my filters, meaning I created some time ago. For the purposes of understanding of the features, you have to learn our screener. I will talk about the screener later, as I think promised. You see features and screener. I will show you how to create them. Now let's look at what kind of features I have. I have all kinds of features, and let's assume I'm active investor and I want to create a portfolio with a topic of sports. Okay, so I'm selecting a popular filter with sport, and this is the built-in filter in the screener. Okay, the same thing, adjustments you can make right here, and here is what we have. Allocation quality only, because the filter takes care of the selection, okay? Now it is all zeros, and now we say, okay, how we want to do it? Some people like actively managing from split equally. If we split equally, then allocation quality is 82%. If you bring everything to cash, it's obviously zero allocation quality, okay? And if you ask the advisor how to allocate, then for this, it gave us only 46%. We can reallocate it later, okay? For this, we finish. And we will see what we can do for that purpose, okay? Already right here, okay? Okay, so these are the position. Now again, get advice. Okay, and now what we see here is it reallocated 100%, and that's all what it can do. We can apply. And these are the sell orders, buy orders, and then everything else which is required to manage that portfolio, okay? So now, let me talk about the filters, how to create your own filters, because for the active investor, it's not enough to use the wizard. You have to understand how to use the screener. So this is a screener homepage. So you go here, and that's where you can create a filter. So the best way to start creating a filter is to understand that we do have these buy-sell recommendations, which are daily, okay? So if you subscribe to a filter, you automatically have them, okay? So now, let's assume I want to build a portfolio, active portfolio, which means I have to reallocate that pretty often. So what I'm going to do, I will say strong buy. So select me all stocks from about 4,000 stocks, applied filter, okay? So out of 4,000, I have about 500 stocks which are rated strong buy. As you can see, green means if you would have bought it some days ago, you would have been making money, okay? So you see only one green. So how many do I have? 500, almost 499. So let's take market capitalization. I like between 10 billion and 200 billion, and apply filter, okay? Boom. So how many do I have? About 118 stocks and I'm creating a filter. So for instance, in order to view filter, it's actually right here. You see, this is stocks excluding penny. Why? Because this is all stocks. This is excluding penny. This is only penny stocks. This is OTC stocks. If you wanted the same thing for ETFs, you do it for ETFs, mutual funds, and that way you create a filter. And with this filter, you can build a filter. With these options, you can build different filters and manage your portfolio actively. What it means you're going to apply this filter every time you want to reallocate. Okay, so this is a filter. It's written in a real language. Stocks excluding penny with buy sell, which is equal strong buy, and market capitalization between 10 and 200 billion. Okay, so I have 118. Now let's look at the volume. I want to reduce it to some reasonable amount, and let's assume over 1 million. Apply filter. You see, filter is better, is 75, and price. Let's assume I want a price under, I'm kind of making under $50. Okay, boom. I have 26. That's a reasonable portfolio already, 26. And these are the stocks, which are 26 stocks, which you can now use this filter. What you can do is to save as, and now you save, you see stocks excluding it, save. That's going to be name of a filter, which you can use in the build of your portfolio, as I showed you, okay? Now I save that filter, and that filter is going to leave. We're actually going to be releasing Filter Exchange, where other people are going to build the filters. You're going to be able to view that. Okay. So briefly, question: you go to another website. There's other screeners for stocks, right? Or for ETFs or for mutual funds, right? So they also have kind of a similar options. They don't have this amount of fundamental analysis, technical analysis under one button. They typically have all fundamentals, okay? And they don't have one button to view all earnings and dividends, dates and everything, okay? But let's assume you go there, and then if you ask them a question, how do you know if this filter works, or if that filter worked some time ago? So for that reason, we have a time machine, and time machine is a thing where, you see, it is a pre-calculated for today, January 18th, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this time machine. You can read description and understand how it works. I'm just going to give you a brief introduction. So you click here. You see, this is a chart of the S&P 500, and you pick up any point right here and view how it worked in some downturns. Let's take this downturn, and what it means, it's like in a movie Back to the Future. We're going to move to the past. If we know the past, we're going to know the future, how this filter works. So we click here, and now we apply that filter to that date. What's that date? November 19, 2021. Oh, okay. There was no such a thing with this interesting. Change the date. Let's change the date here. Okay, now with another date we found, so that means that for some points it's well, that's what you see. Let's take 1 quarter before this point, August 2021, and 1 month after, and see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, this filter they didn't work really well on these conditions, which means that maybe there's not a good filter, because typically I would put here any apply filter. Now we change it, and you see this is a little bit better, but I have more options, but still okay. So So let's try another point and see what happens. Okay. So now I'm selecting May 21, 2021, and you see I have more opportunities. So that's where you can create your own features, and maybe that was one which was not the best, but it is a good filter anyway. It used to give better data. Okay. So so when you create several features like that and they work, you create them yourself, and then you can apply it in a build of an active portfolio. Okay. So let's see what else I wanted to cover. Features in the screen, buy sell signals from home watch list. Yes, I started talking about that. Home. So it describes what it is. If you click here, got it, then it's you're not going to see that window. So this is the list, home watch list with some presets. Load more, and then you have more. You see, if it's green, that means you would have made money if you would have used strong sell. Actually, you see, it actually reacted well on the downturn of the markets, and that's not a bad signal. And actually, that's the most affordable subscription you can get, only like $5 a month to get these signals, which are daily signals. So that means they're generated actually at the end of the day for the next day. Okay. So that's pretty much it, what I wanted. We're also going to create an additional video, instructional video for passive and active investors. And you can see that video in a recording mode later, maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, as soon as our team are going to put it into the website. Okay. So do you have questions? No, if you don't have questions, then it's pretty much it. That's the end of the presentation. Thank you and goodbye.